Hi, everyone, and welcome to Real Siblings It Ain't Easy. I'm Eric. She's Donna. We're real siblings. We're real estate agents if you've never listened before. And for a special holiday treat, we are using the Advent candle as a way to create topics for this podcast. It was Donna's idea. We are on episode 3, candle 3 in the wreath, which is joy. Donna, what can you tell us?
So I really want to just sing Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Joy to the world. But I won't, even though I just did. So joy is one of those really short words. Seems like it should be easy. We sing about it at the holidays.
Joy to the world.
Right, right. And I don't know if we say we're joyful much more of the year about different things. So it's really interesting to just contemplate what it means. So of course, I really don't love AI, still looked it up. So
Which
joy.
did you use?
Oh,
Did
I
you
use Chat GPT.
you
I use
chat?
the
Okay,
first, the easy, the
that's
one
because
that,
you old.
yeah, I will. Yeah, exactly. There's like a bunch of other options now, but it says AI tells us that joy is a positive emotional state characterized by feelings of happiness and contentment. Okay. It often arises from fulfilling experiences, achievements, or connections with others. So that piece, that made sense to me. And my book club had a lot, and several are active in the church, retired pastors or whatever. We had a lot of
Right?
talk about the difference between happiness and joy. What do you think, Eric? What does it mean for you?
Wow. I wanted to go throw right back to you to go. What did your book club say? Knowing that
Well,
other people are there. Happiness is something I think we feel, or at least assign a name to. I feel happy right now. Maybe it's just because joy was more popular. Say joy was the word in the 19th century as opposed to the 20th or 21st. More commonly used when you use it in books. That's why it's in some of those older Christmas carols
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was more common, and we have over time replaced it. But I think it's much more common to say, yeah, I feel pretty happy. You don't
And
normally say, I feel joyful.
and so are you, you're happy that you won the game or you didn't fall down coming down the steps. So okay, that says my age and how many knee replacements or joint replacements I've had, right? So
Joint and hip replacements. That's good.
yeah, but I'll say I usually go, "Phew, I made it, and I'm happy I made it. But that's different than the feeling of joy, which I think the connections with others and the contentment, and I'm going to tell you, we had a longest night service today for at church, and knowing that today is the solstice as we're recording this, so
It's the
after this, the
solstice, and
days
I
are
did
supposed
see
to
a
start
picture of
getting.
Stonehenge today. It's
Yep, yep.
amazing sunrise at Stonehenge this morning was
Oh,
phenomenal.
that's neat.
Those
So
ancients getting it so precise,
yeah,
even
and
though
and
we
I
rebuilt it sometime this
this
century.
yeah. So there's a piece of me, Eric, that I went to the service. I knew there'd only be 20 or 30 people there, and it's often people who have lost people this year, and it's their first Christmas, without someone they love. And it made it a little bit more thought provoking for me. And I ended up putting a candle in like we do sometimes on All Saints Day. And to be honest, it was related to the death of one of my elementary school classmates. And uh, it's really weird. So I told you that, when Don Krylik passed
When
away,
Don Krylik was died,
that
yeah,
who would have thought that guy would have given me so much joy and laughter in the later years of my life? And so as I lit the candle, I was kind of laughing and smiling instead of being sad because that weird connection in 2016 created for some super joyful, interesting, funny conversations that never in a million years would I have suspected. And that's a very different feeling than just saying, "Oh, I was happy to talk to you." You know. Okay.
right. Absolutely. No, that is very, very true. So do you feel like even when you sing it at church, do you feel joyful?
I feel like I'm supposed to.
Right. It's like, yes, of course.
Yeah, and part of it comes from everyone around knowing it. So even when we change the rhythm or the lyrics slightly or do something different from the what I see and hear in my head and at the church in Lindsay all those years with the carol and candlelight service, that's a reflective kind of joy and contentment, right? So a fulfilling experience, not an achievement for me, but certainly a connection and a connection to the now and to the past.
Yeah, but that also related to church and those old carol and candlelight service, that was a certain amount of peace. I feel like
Mhm.
carol and candlelight services have
Yeah,
certainly from what we grew up with
yeah,
changed. I mean, the lights went out, we lit four candles. They came around. We all lit our candles. Don't tip your candle. The lit
yeah, yeah.
candle turn.
No,
It's
no,
the
you not the one that's
right. And extinguish. We don't blow it out because you don't want to get wax on anything. All those, but there's the nostalgic side of this that we bring up frequently. It just makes you smile peacefully,
right.
not necessarily joyfully,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there is a peace that goes with those kind of thoughts.
yeah.
Now, where I go to church now, you
Hmm.
have visited with us.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say that I have not been in a body that continually seems so intentionally positive, upbeat, and joyful. Our recent Thanksgiving service. We do two Thanksgiving services throughout the year. Mid year recognizes all of the different missions and systems and everything that everybody works in at the church to keep it running.
Right. I remember
Because
you were helping with that.
because we had 1,000 people at our service today. Um, the technical side of things, running the screens, running the cameras, running the service to keep people coming and going, and mics coming on the stage, and lights and everything else, and welcoming people when they come in separate from the ushers because we have public relations team which welcomes them into the building, greeters that open the door, and ushers that take them to their seats. So that's three different missions. All of those are recognized at the mid-year service. The year-end service is a celebration parade of nations
Okay.
because we now claim 51 different countries
That's
of
what you
national
told me the other day.
origin
Yeah.
that all dance in with their flags, that
How many
all
of you
celebrate their culture. It was a 4.5 hour service.
I would have gone crazy. How many of you were born in America? Are you
Oh, I'm
one of
definitely we're the minority.
yeah, oh yeah, that's what well I mean if there's and I saw that, if there's that many countries and predominantly African, right?
Yes,
So that's
but there's an aspect. Okay, so we finished off our cantata service on Friday with Feliz Navidad
huh?
and Santa and Mrs. Claus danced in at the back of the church. Picture your brother and Mrs. Claus dancing in at the end of the service. Now, but
Not your dancing's not quite like their dancing is
I'm getting better. It's rubbing off. But the fact that you can just celebrate, and you could feel that joy. Now, we try to relate this to the real estate. Pull it
yeah,
out of the services, pull it out of that part of
yeah,
the service
yeah.
right now, and you talk about the joy of new home ownership. How many people, though, from your standpoint, are happy or are joyful based on kind of that?
I wonder if that's already a personality characteristic. Like, are they inherently people that are bubbly and that show their feelings, or are they not? Or was it long and tedious and arduous and they're just happy it's over as compared to, so, yeah, Um, so to give somebody the keys and know that they're actually joyful. I think sometimes you see that in the first time home buyers. Sometimes in the, I'm going to say women who alone after 30 or 40 or 50 years of marriage. And for the first time in their life, they're buying and doing something on their own
on their
without
own.
a co-signer, and yeah, they're happy and they might be exhausted, but I think there might be a little more joy in
Right.
there.
And that was the previous episode that we recorded. Not out yet, but from what
Yeah.
what we're recording right now. I told you about the three sellers in this transaction where they all hate each other.
Yeah.
Openly live in other countries, don't talk, hire attorneys to represent them as attorneys, that kind of thing.
Holy moly.
My buyer, on the other hand, when we closed, she's like, you don't know what this means to me. I have owned 8 houses. This is the first one I have ever done on my own.
Oh,
And there were so many things that I was so concerned about that you just helped
nice.
get you all the way through it. So, to the point where they came to our cantata service on Friday night to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Eric, when I was there in August, September, whenever I was there. And and I think that's when we drove out and we saw the lady that was buying the house to have the place for her goats.
Yes.
So I remember going there, and I've done this many a place on the road with you in Texas, thinking I'd never live out here. I don't know how you get here. I don't know where it goes. Don't know where it ends. We're driving through all this land. We get to this house. It's kind of a cool house. I mean, I have to say that. And then she came later or the next day or whatever. But the point of that is she had the little baby goats, right?
Yes.
And she needed a place for them and then we looked at pictures and we looked at you as Santa Claus going to be posing with those little baby goats. Okay,
With the goats. And we've got
that
some new
makes you
kids, and I've got to
smile.
get out there and I've got to get the goat pictures. But now that the season for me is over, now I can focus, and I'm going to get with her probably after Christmas to do those pictures and get
And
my
whether
baby goat
she's
pictures.
joyful or whether the little goats make her joyful.
They're just hysterical. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a reason that goat yoga
Yeah.
is fun. Have you seen the puppy yoga now?
Yeah.
I mean, where they just bring in the puppies and let them run around and they're licking and sniffing and getting people's on the noses, and
I don't know if
it's
that would be joyful for me or
it's
not.
hysterical. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, I would definitely be all over that. I haven't posted it yet, but one of my big pictures of the year making this guy joyful was Penelope. Penelope was in her Santa Claus hat and her scarf, and she has a bearded dragon lizard. So I'm doing a who wore it better post.
We should get you out here to the desert museum and let you go pose with all the
I would
desert
love to
aminals.
do that. Yes. So it's, and relating it to that, there are things I mentioned and because I'm editing, um, in the first of these that we did, I mentioned the fact that I don't like to be a prop. And I didn't really go into that. There's very much, and I saw a post today of a man who puts on a red suit, who has a natural beard, who's working at Bass Pro Shop. Now, I'm just going to tell you, notoriously within my circle, that is not a desired place to be because they give everybody else breaks, but the man in red. So it is
Oh,
not,
interesting.
and it's a nonstop road, and people are unhappy because the amount of time they're waiting. There's so much things that it's like the joy of seeing Santa Claus is immediately taken because of all of these other things. But then it leaves the person who's in the suit. And I don't like to do that. When I did 2 seasons ago, I was at a place where it was 6.5 hours in a 15-foot round silo. And child after child after child after child. And you do that 2 days
Holy
in a row.
moly.
2 days in a row. By the time you get to the 13th hour of the 2 6.5 hour days on day two, you still have to remember that the people you're talking to are seeing Santa for the first time. And I have to be just as good with them as I was
with the
in the
first
first
ones.
15 minutes on the first day. And you really do. It's like any actor, any performer. It's like you have to get into your head and say, "This is the character. This is who I have to continue to be." And it's not always easy.
No,
But when you're that, you're just really the living prop. You're
I
going to
think
see
that
Santa,
that's
but
I think that's true of any actor, any theater, any show. We used to say the same thing about Up with People. It didn't matter if we were tired and had performed 7 nights in a row. Those people bought their tickets, and every Broadway show, every actor, everywhere. I saw an interview with Jim Carrey the other day about the makeup for The Grinch.
mm-hmm.
8 hours it took him. And he ended up having some training with someone who had been, I want to say, like a Navy SEAL or something like that, where you learn to deal with the worst possible things and how to do it. Jim Carrey says the Bee Gees got him through it. He listened to the Bee Gees and like 150 times he had to have that makeup put on. He goes, the Bee Gees, and then the guy would tell him to hit himself. So you remember how there used to be a joke like if your head hurts, hit yourself in the gut, you'll forget your head hurts.
Yes, you'll forget that. Yep.
Yeah, so he said he would like hit his leg, and then the other thing was smoke a cigarette. So he said I'd be on the break and and it cracked me up to think because we watched this movie, and after a while you know that it takes a long time to be in character if you've ever had to do it. But I was thinking about this, maybe it was the other day when we were doing peace, or I can't remember something that you had said. Oh, I was thinking about it with you even being at church. In your church, you're a standout. And so I say that. And so for those of you who don't know, Eric and his wife are going to a church that is predominantly African. There's 10 or 12 white people that I saw. So Eric, with his beard already, stands out. And there are children who look at him any month of the year and think that he looks like Santa. And you had that one concert with the Army Navy band, I think, that you had gone to, where their little girl turned around.
Yes, she turned around and she's just like, "Yep." She was looking at me the whole time.
Yep, she was positive. She was at a concert with Grandpa, Santa, both of those, whatever. But
Gramsta.
anyway, all of that is to say that you're right, and there is this point of bringing joy, and I've been thinking about it while we talk. Today, when I shared Uncle Barry's letter with Grant,
Right.
and I got a card from Aunt Jude and from Janie Lichtfuss. So these are 3 living relatives of Mom's generation who still write some notes. Janie writes a letter. Those bring me joy. And clearly make me cry too.
And it doesn't. So let's wrap this one up. As
Yeah.
we go through this, happiness, joy, pleasure. What is that word that you use? Joy is the word of the season. What brings us joy? Celebrate the joy. Is that a cooking a favorite recipe? Is that the telephone call? Is it the receiving of the Christmas card? Is it going to church? Is it being able to give and do something that you would not normally do? Whatever that thing is, find out what it is that can bring you that unique experiential and enjoy some joy
And
of the
then
season.
and continue it into the new year because we needed all of it that we can get. So, alrighty. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This is, Eric had said, is the third of the 4 that we are doing in the month of December related to the Advent candles. And for those of you that don't already know this, I am Donna. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams in southern Arizona around Tucson. And this is my brother, Eric. And he's in San Antonio, Texas, also with Keller Williams. And we are
Real
real
siblings.
siblings. Thanks so much.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.